I'm Annabelle. You're welcome to Deep Truths. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you are in life. And I don't just mean time zones. You see, whether you are in the boardroom, classroom, or living room, whether you feel like you win at life or barely hanging on, there comes a point in every journey when something just clicks. But it doesn't click until you realize that the breakthrough you've been praying for is often waiting on the other side of the lesson you keep avoiding. Let's dive into this with a little story, not from me, but from a guy you might have heard of, Moses. Now, here's Moses raised in Pharaoh's palace, right? Surrounded by power, privileges, and all the good you can imagine. But then, plot twist, he ends up wandering the forest for 40 years. 40 years. I don't know about you, but after 1 year, I will be asking God, what's going on here? Moses probably had the same question, and God didn't free him, didn't part any Red Sea, until Moses realized his place wasn't just to lead from a throne, but to lead through humility from the desert. It took 40 years for that click. Some of us have been walking through our own desert for a while too. The lesson here is simple. Until you realize that you are not in control, God can't move. The Bible says in Proverbs 3 verse 5 to 6, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In your ways, submit to Him, and He will make your path straight. Notice the order: trust, then straight path. You don't get the map until you learn to trust the guide. And we see this over and over again in life. Until you realize you can't fix it by yourself, it stays broken. We are all guilty of trying to take the wheel from God. We forget that He is the only one with the GPS. So, what are those things you need to realize? Maybe it's that you are not defined by your career. Your job may fail, your business may falter, but your value does not. Or maybe it's relationship. You kept chasing people who aren't chasing you back. Until you realize that your worth isn't in who chases you, but who made you, you will keep giving part of yourself away. Until you realize that healing takes time, you will keep rushing the process and reopening wounds that were supposed to heal. We live in a microwave world, but God is more of a slow-cooked meal kind of God. He lets things simmer until they are just right. Look at Paul. Here's a guy who thought he was living his best life, persecuting Christians, convinced he was doing God's work, until he realized on that road to Damascus, with scales over his eyes, he learned that he was completely off course. God had to blind him to make him truly see. Some of us are running full speed in a wrong direction until we realize we are heading towards destruction. Paul's change didn't happen until he let go of his old mindset. That's when true transformation starts. Change never happened until there's a revelation, until you realize where you are and where you need to be. In all areas of life, these principles apply. In your career, until you realize that fulfillment isn't just a paycheck, you will stay empty. In your family, until you realize that love is not control, you will keep feeling disconnected. In your spiritual life, until you realize that it's about relationship, not just religion, you will keep missing the point. If God had an Instagram, His feed will be full of revelation moments, not selfies, but stories of people realizing, oh, this is what you meant all along. You see, God isn't waiting on you to be perfect. He is waiting on you to be ready. Realization is the first step. Once you realize the truth, things start to change. That marriage that seemed doomed, it starts to mend. That dream that felt dead, it begins to stir again. The healing you thought would never come, it starts slowly and surely. Remember the prodigal son? He was living his best, worst life until he came to his senses. Until he realized that even his father's servants were better off than him. Then and only then did he turn back. Until you realize that coming back home is always an option. You will stay lost in the far country. Someone might ask, so what do you do today? Stop, breathe, ask God for a revelation. Be open to realizing something you've been ignoring. What do you need to realize? Maybe it's that the battle isn't yours. Maybe it's that your waiting period is not punishment, it's preparation. Or maybe it's as simple as realizing that love, true love, is patient and kind, even with yourself. Until you realize that your timing isn't God's timing, you will always be frustrated. But once you do, oh, the peace that comes with it. Things may not always be easy, but they will be right. It's only when we realize, when we open our eyes, that God can do the most. The Bible says you will know the truth and the truth will set you free. But first, you have to know it. You have to realize it. So my friends, until you realize where you are, you can't get to where you're meant to go. Open your heart to that moment of realization, and you will be amazed at how quickly your desert becomes a promised land. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Kindly share your thoughts in the comments and hit the notification bell for more updates. Thanks for being a part of this journey.